Morning SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I'm Hortensia Carty.
Well, we want to thank you for tuning in today on this pleasant Wednesday morning. It's Whiskermas Wednesday, as we like to call it here. It's the middle of the week. It's hump day, and we're hoping that you get over the hump, and we're going to help you do that. Isn't that right, Hortensia?
Indeed.
Great show lined up today, actually. What are you looking most forward to?
Oh, my gosh. So first off, we have Mr. Blanchett. So I'm looking forward to another autumn. Looking forward for more insight. James had me thinking all day yesterday about the things in my life that has gotten me to this point. So I'm looking forward to hear what Mr. Blanchett has to offer us today. I'm looking forward to discussing some superhuman abilities.
Okay.
That regardless of what you're facing in life, you can do anything. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the Independence rollout, the Independence activities. So we're going to do that a little later on. And of course, we've got some other stuff in between. So make sure that you stay tuned. You don't want to miss a moment. All right, we're moving on to the latest in local news, this by way of a Nevis Island Administration press release. So I'll summarize the story by telling you that on August 30th, effectively, the seniors in Nevis congregated at the Jessup's Community Center. It was part of an initiative organized by the Nevis Island Administration's Ministry of Social Development through the Division of Senior Citizens, and it organized a seniors recreational group meeting. Now, that meeting apparently took a hiatus during COVID-19, so it was the first time that they reconvened in one particular place. And the seniors, for all intents and purposes, seemed to be very excited. As a matter of fact, Mrs. Sylvia O'Dane, a resident of Charlestown, described how wonderful it was to be together with a group like the seniors group. And her sentiments were also echoed by fellow group member, Mrs. Carmen Phillip of Butler's Village. Mrs. Phillip expressed elation that the meeting had resumed, stating, quote, "When we get together as seniors, it's part of what carries us through." So this story, Hortensia, effectively underscores how important it is to keep seniors engaged, to help them to feel as though they are a valuable part of our society. And of course, you'd appreciate the fact that when we spoke to Minister Iselene Phillip recently, she also spoke to the importance of social programs that would speak to elderly people and keeping them engaged as well and well cared for. So this is a great story on that front.
Exactly.
And yes.
Yeah, I was just saying it's all good because we don't want them to feel left out of society and neglected and forgotten, because they are the reason why we are here now. So we need to take care of them now that it's our turn to do so, because they did a very good job taking care of us.
Precisely.
Yes.
And you've got other news to get onto now, don't you?
Yes, indeed. So this is from a UE Open Campus press release. On August 24th and 25th, University of the West Indies Open Campus St. Kitts and Nevis site held its first face-to-face student orientation session since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. The session welcomed new students commencing their studies at undergraduate and postgraduate degree levels. 55 persons have been accepted to commence their studies with the University of the West Indies Open Campus St. Kitts and Nevis site for the 2022-2023 academic year. These students will pursue studies in various fields, including early childhood development and family studies, economics, banking and finance, accounting, sports kinetics, criminology, education, leadership and management, business management, financial management, human resource management, psychology, paralegal studies, international management, and tourism and hospitality. During the orientation session, the head of the campus, St. Kitts and Nevis, Mrs. Gail Gray Phillip, gave an overview on the University of the West Indies and the Open Campus. Two recent past students and a current student shared their experience and useful tips for studying online while managing work and family commitments.
We're getting back to school, aren't we? In so many different ways.
Today's the start. And
Wow.
I saw some kids going out looking extremely new.
Extremely new. I wish I had that new face on, you know. Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Same old face here on GMSKN, but
Yes.
it is what it is. So, really interesting story. I'm eager to talk about that as we continue the month as well.
Yes,
Getting
indeed.
back to school. All right, so we're moving on to our third story for this morning, and it has to do with a change related to the hurricane season, apparently. So, one of them spoke with, of course, meteorologist Elmo Burke, who indicated that August was a very slow month for the progression of hurricanes, and that what was predicted initially by way of a number of named storms, we haven't seen that. in part due to the sub-Saharan dust and other factors. So there might be a possible change to the number of storms that we are expecting. I think as at the time of that particular story, we had roughly 5 named storms, particularly in this region. So don't let your guards down, everybody. Just make sure that you are prepared as much as possible and stay vigilant, and also expect that change if it ought to come. Listen to Elmo Burke and the Met Office for word on that front.
Indeed. And you notice Antigua had a cyclone yesterday. Well, I've seen a few in Antigua. And once I was in the airport here waiting to leave to go back to Antigua, and I saw one out on the ocean right here in St. Kitts.
Wow.
But Antigua is famous for getting those cyclones. Now, for the weather, it is becoming cloudy with a 60% or a moderate chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly across the northern parts. There is a high of 91 and a low of 75 degrees Fahrenheit. It is 83 degrees Fahrenheit at this time. You can take a look at your local weather for the entire week. A bit cloudy all the way. See you after this for more Good Morning SKN. Stay tuned.
Great news, everyone! SKN Moves is turning 3. And this year, we are going to celebrate bigly by bringing back the 7-week challenge. For week 1, we will focus on the importance of breastfeeding. In week 2, we will participate in the SKN Move anniversary walk. Week 3, let's watch the In Your Kitchen I Rep My Community competition finals. Week 4, a healthy drinking water challenge. During week 5, it's all about mindfulness and our mental health. And no, that's not all. In week 6, we will learn about self-care and management. The celebrations end in week 7 with the Caribbean Wellness Week activities, National Fruit Day and National Sneaker Day. Come participate, celebrate and enjoy. Join SKN Moves and let us move toward a healthier St. Kitts and Nevis.
If you gradually use less salt, you will gradually want less salt. Eating less salty foods will reduce your cravings for salty foods. Let's get salt smart.
Back to Good Morning SKN. We continue now with regional news. Antigua in the United States of the prestigious U.S. Fulbright Scholarship Program. This from Antigua Newsroom. U.S. Embassy to Barbados, the Eastern Caribbean, and the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States is pleased to announce that Antigua and Barbuda national Horner Davis is currently in the United States pursuing postgraduate studies funded by the U.S. government through the Fulbright Foreign Student Scholarship. Ms. Davis is the education officer with responsibilities for mathematics curriculum in the Ministry of Education and Sports in Antigua and Barbuda. She has spent the past 30 years promoting and facilitating quality education and training for teachers and students of all ages in the area of mathematics. As a Fulbright Scholarship recipient, she is now pursuing a PhD in learning and teaching in STEM at the North Carolina State University. The Fulbright program is the flagship international education exchange program sponsored by the U.S. government and is designed to increase mutual understanding between the people of the United States and the people of other countries. So that is very good for the Caribbean.
I actually met Orner, and this is
Oh.
interesting because you're talking about mathematics. I had a reason to go to Barbados in November of 2016, and we met there at a regional mathematics workshop.
Look at you.
And I'm so very proud of her for that.
Smart kids.
It just seemed a little more familiar to me, so we are really integrated as a region.
And she's teaching in STEM. Wow.
Awesome. All right, so we're moving on to international news. Netflix, Saudi Arabia and GCC warn streaming giant over violating Islamic values. This from the BBC. Gulf states have demanded that Netflix remove all content deemed to violate Islamic and societal values and principles, Saudi media report. Recent material, including that made for children, contravened regulations, Saudi and Gulf Corporation Council media watchdogs warned in a statement. It did not provide any further details, but Saudi state TV showed blurred clips from animated show Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, in which two teenage girls confess they love each other and kiss. Footage from the controversial French film's Cuties also featured in the report by Al Ekbaria TV, along with a caption accusing Netflix of being cinematic cover for immoral messages that threaten the healthy upbringing of children. Another video on Al Ekbaria's website alleged that the TV streaming service was promoting homosexuality by focusing excessively on homosexuals. The channel also interviewed several public figures with whom made similar accusations and called on the authorities to take immediate action. So when I read this, I was seriously thinking, look at this. You're looking at censorship. I understand you have to be sensitive, so it's going to be a touchy issue.
Yes.
The question is, I suppose, where do you draw the line? Reading that, you realize they're speaking about excessively showing it, not necessarily that they're showing it, but excessively showing it.
Yeah.
But you do have that issue of censorship as well, speaking to the culture in which the films are shown and what they represent. So it's that balance.
Yes.
And we know how, the Islamic states tend to be, and how religious they tend to be. So this is going to be a story that we should continue to watch.
Indeed.
Well, there you have it for the latest for today. We will be back after the break with Glenroy Blanchett to talk all about his new book on Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw. Stay tuned.
I eat some veggies for dinner. Let me just check the amount of sodium in this can. Oh no, this is too much. Let me try our next option. They did say it's healthy to consume less salt. This is much better. I am salt smart.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are any exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
As a hypertensive patient, in my home, I reduce salt intake by not adding salt during the preparation of my food, not having a salt shaker on my table, limiting the consumption of salty snacks, and choosing products with lower sodium content. That's why I am salt smart.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Yes, one of our local Black legend is here. However, we're going to do Black Legend Wednesday before he comes and speak about should I say our first legend?
Well, that's the thing, because you realize I got so eager in speaking to the book on Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, who is, as far as I'm concerned, one of our national Black legends, really. That I couldn't wait to talk to Mr. Blanchard. But I apologize, everyone. You're going to have to wait just a little longer because we are going to talk about Black legends right now.
That's how we get them to stay tuned. Right?
Exactly. And then after that, we'll talk about the Black legend.
Our Black legend,
that is Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw with Glenroy Blanchard. So can't wait.
Yes. Right. So as we continue on Black Legend Wednesday, how much do you love this segment? So viewers, you have to tell us. You have to share this segment. You have to remember, you have to follow. Remember, we have a goal.
Yeah,
so who has been your favorite thus far?
It's interesting because when we talked to this, and you realize what I just did, I preempted it by saying we're going to be talking about Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw. So as much as I love this segment, I think the focus on some of our own national heroes, which is what we're going to do this month, is really what takes the cake for me. So as to my favorite one that we've covered so far, however, perhaps Kobe Bryant. I'll tell you that.
I thought so too. Okay. Yes, Black Mamba, although I don't like snakes. So today we will be talking about Barbados-born legendary pop singer and now influential boss woman, none other than Robin Fenty, better known as Rihanna, or should I say the umbrella lady?
Yeah. You know, I missed her in Barbados because one of the times I was there studying, her family, I think her aunt lived basically maybe 4 houses away from the one that I was in. And I was back here on vacation. And when I got back to Barbados, everybody's telling me, man, she had the streets lined. Everybody was waiting to see her. She came to visit her aunt, and it was just ridiculous in that area. I was like, should have been there. This close to Rihanna. This close, literally.
Close. I remember one time I had a hairstyle, and I was in Barbados, and people keep shouting Rihanna. And I just turned around and be like, no, sorry, not Rihanna.
You know, you got the Rihanna, Diana Ross thing going. Either one.
I'll take it. Two greats.
And they both can sing.
I know, they can sing. We can sing.
Yes, so we are focusing on Rihanna.
So Rihanna was born in St. Michael and raised in Bridgetown, Barbados. She is the oldest of 3 children born to Monica Fenty, an accountant, and Ronald Fenty, a warehouse supervisor. Rihanna's childhood was affected by her father's struggle with addictions to alcohol and crack cocaine and her parents' marital problems. They divorced when she was 14 years old. Rihanna has 2 brothers, Rory and Rajad Fenty, and 2 half-sisters and a half-brother from her father's side, each born to different mothers from his previous relationships. Drugs and alcohol can really ruin family, huh?
Yeah, but you know what? You wouldn't tell that when you look at her because I think she emerged from the situation glorious and glamorous.
Yep.
And sometimes it takes scarring to produce great things.
It does. But why does scarring have to happen, though?
Just for that, literally.
Man, oh man. So Rihanna knows to stay away from stuff like that.
Exactly. You know, and that's the thing. Sometimes you learn from experience, your own or others. And I just love the fact that we are talking about Rihanna because I think that she is a really good, not only Barbados icon, but a Caribbean icon as well.
Indeed. I love that. She play on her roots, proud Caribbean woman. Yeah. I remember when she first started, you couldn't guess where she's from. But once she realized that she needed to be authentically Rihanna,
That was it.
That was it.
That was it. Love the name, even though Rihanna. Yeah, Robin Fenty.
Yeah.
I love that though.
Oh,
Robin
I think it's
Fenty.
Robin Rihanna Fenty.
Robin Rihanna Fenty. Yeah,
but they
there's
just
her
pull out
middle name.
Rihanna because
Yeah.
that one rings a bell.
Exactly.
amongst us,
Stands
yeah.
out so much.
Yep. Like
Kind of like your name.
no Hortensia.
All right. In terms of her education, Rihanna attended the Charles F. Broome Memorial Primary School and Combermere School. Oh yeah, Combermere. We know about that, all right? Where she studied alongside future international cricketers like Chris Jordan and Carlos Brathwaite. You say Brathwaite, we know we're talking about Barbados, generally speaking. Brathwaite.
Yes.
Brathwaite. Right?
That's one of the famous last names in that island.
I
Yeah.
understand Morris is too. Well, not necessarily famous, but Morris is popular there. So I was told.
I never know. I just
Yeah.
hear Brathwaite all about.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
and some odd surnames, but Brathwaite, as you say, is the big one. Like how here to me, Lywood and Brown is a big one.
Got you. I thought Williams, but yeah, I'm with you on that. Combermere School, and you know about the schooling.
Yes.
It's like really, really interesting there. It's like I went to this, I went to that, I went to, you know.
Even
you know
if it's
what it is.
but they have all secondary, right? They don't have any high schools. It's just secondary.
So,
I've never heard of a high school in Barbados, but
well, same thing anyway. So
yeah.
same thing for her.
Rihanna is only 34 years old, yet with 10 years since the start of her musical career, she's become the youngest solo artist to score 14 #1 singles on the Billboard Hot 100 and the fastest to do so. She sold more than 54 million albums and 210 million tracks worldwide. Rihanna started her music career at the age of 15 after she performed for 2 producers in 2003. I remember that Babyface girl.
I remember the song.
It was on the replay, right?
Yes, exactly. And I thought, look at that. She's doing that. She's got on the and I loved it. And by the time the second album came out, there was a metamorphosis. And I thought, in a lot of ways, she reminded me of Christina Aguilera because that same thing happened, I think, to Christina Aguilera.
Exactly.
You know, come out soft, with Hess in the Waters. It's a little, nice and you can expect it. And then by the second album, it's like your stamp is on it. Here we go. I've got range.
Yes.
Look at me.
Take off.
Evolve, right? Interesting stuff.
And she has evolved over the years.
All right, so in relation to her career, her debut album, Music of the Sun, was released by Def Jam in 2005, but it was in 2007 that the singer gained recognition with the release of her album, Good Girl Gone Bad. There it is. In 2016, it was revealed that Rihanna would be releasing her music through her own label, which was established in 2005, and that is amazing.
Yeah, she has done some amazing things.
It's the evolution.
Look at that. From her first, the second it's hers, her label. Look at that.
Exactly.
Man.
That gives her a lot of power. That gives her a lot of influence.
Yes.
More control, definitely.
Because I didn't realize it took years upon years for you to get your royalties. At least, I think it's what, 5 to 15?
Wow.
You're not aware,
That's
right?
a long time. No,
Okay.
at all.
So I'm not really sure, but I think it's a long time. Yeah. To own the rights to your music.
And that's the thing, because I remember I think I was following Destiny's Child in an article, and I realized how much they actually made on their album after, the gross sales were what they were. And I thought, wow, would you look at that disparity? It's still a lot of money for an average person, but when you compare it to the whole thing, I mean, everybody has to be paid because everybody put money in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, but it seemed like a small percentage. So,
I wonder if it's better to be a solo artist than to be a group, because even a solo artist has to pay so many persons, including their publicists, their lawyers, et cetera, et cetera. So imagine in the group.
Yeah.
So maybe this word being a solo artist.
It depends. I mean, some people are better in groups, some people are better individually, some people are good both ways.
Okay.
But I don't think she's affected at all. And we're going to take a look at her business sense right now, right?
Yeah, so Rihanna's first fragrance was released in January 2011. It was a financial success and was expected to gross US 80 million at retail by the end of 2011. Rihanna's second fragrance was released in February 2012. In November 2012, Rihanna's released her third fragrance. Rihanna's fourth woman's fragrance was released on September the 14th, 2013, followed by a male version, which was released in 2014. So she's on a roll, man.
So Rihanna, if you are looking for another male fragrance, I'm going to put it out there right now. We'll call it Jamie. You get to run with that, all right? You get to run with that.
Oh, man.
Or Jamie St. Michael. We'll take it.
So you're still trying to keep some of Barbados in it, but you're adding Jamie. Okay, Jamie St. Michael.
Putting it
There you
out
go.
there.
There you go.
All right, so Fenty was a fashion brand made by Rihanna, which launched in May 2019. She was the first woman to create an original brand for LVMH and also the first woman of color to lead an LVMH brand. In July 2020, Rihanna launched a skincare brand called Fenty Skin. And who wouldn't want Fenty Skin? You look at her.
Yes, and the amount of shades that she has. Boy,
It's flawless.
proud of her. And when people tell me that I look like Rihanna, I remind them that I'm older than Rihanna.
Not by much, though.
By plenty. Oh my God, 6 is a lot.
That is not a lot.
She wasn't even here when I was playing with dolls, and plus I could have already walked and talked. Yeah, so I have her by a lot.
You have her by a lot. Okay, there you go. Whatever you
6
say,
is
it's
a
not a
lot.
lot. It is not a lot. It is not a lot.
6 is a lot. Although I think she's 35, so I have her by 5.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah. So Rihanna has had a few relationships in the public eye. Most recently, on May 19, 2021, American rapper A$AP Rocky confirmed during an interview that he and Rihanna are currently in a relationship. On January 31st, 2022, it was revealed that the couple was expecting their first child, and on May 19, 2022, it was confirmed that Rihanna had given birth to a son, which I don't think we will ever see until he's 5. And that's a
Really?
good thing, keeping your child out of the public eye.
Out of the public eye. Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. You can imagine how much paparazzi would get paid for photos of that child.
Exactly.
They're so invasive sometimes, to be honest with you. It's a hard job to try to keep
Like
children
my
out of the public eye.
friends were saying that we don't ever see the baby. I said, but Rihanna's wearing oversized clothes. Maybe the baby's under there. Maybe she has a breathing bag for the baby. But for real, just hiding her child, just to try to look. Beyonce always was hiding Blue's face just to keep her child away from them. And eventually she revealed her when she was about 2, 3.
Okay.
So maybe
wow.
Rihanna might do the same, or as I said, 5.
Yeah,
Then
well.
everybody's going to see. She has the baby memories. They don't need the baby memories.
You think she got advice on hiding the child from Jay-Z?
Oh,
Just kidding.
Maybe, because those two are, how should I say, her idols maybe, and her mentors. So maybe they told her, you got to protect your space, because Beyonce and Jay-Z are very protective of their space. So yeah. So.
Yeah, we don't talk about that, but they've been married for so long.
Yeah, I know, and
Great.
they managed to keep themselves on the back burner until Beyonce posts something, and the whole world going, well, I'm like, what's wrong? Everybody they just woke up.
Well, let's hope Rihanna has good fortune in that respect.
Yes.
So where is she now? The singer was honored in November 21 in her native country of Barbados during its presidential inauguration, which served to mark the country becoming a republic. During the ceremony, Barbadian Prime Minister Mia Mottley announced to the crowd that Ambassador Robin Rihanna Fenty would be honored as a national hero of Barbados. So she is a national hero of Barbados. There she is.
There she is, indeed, hiding her belly. That I told, because it's from then I told everyone Rihanna's pregnant.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, she is. She's hiding her belly. See, had she not done that, we could have just thought she was bloated. But the fact that she was hiding it, she was pregnant. Yeah.
Absolutely stunning, though, and what an honor it is, native Barbadian to be honored in that way.
And she doesn't have to be 6 feet under to be a national
That's
hero.
the point of it.
So she got her flowers while she's alive, so she knows that Barbados appreciate what she has done for them.
That is the point of it, exactly.
Indeed.
She's got a lot of fans, and just look at it this way. A lot of Caribbean boys and girls would look to Rihanna and say, you know what, I can do that.
Exactly.
I can do that. So I'll be inspired like that.
Okay.
All right, so we'll be back in a moment with more Good Morning SKN. Stay tuned.
Great news, everyone! SKN Moves is turning 3. And this year, we are going to celebrate bigly by bringing back the 7-week challenge. For week 1, we will focus on the importance of breastfeeding. In week 2, we will participate in the SKN Move anniversary walk. Week 3, let's watch the In Your Kitchen I Rep My Community competition finals. Week 4, a healthy drinking water challenge. During week 5, it's all about mindfulness and our mental health. And no, that's not all. In week 6, we will learn about self-care and management. The celebrations end in week 7 with the Caribbean Wellness Week activities, National Fruit Day and National Sneaker Day. Come participate, celebrate and enjoy. Join SKN Moves and let us move toward a healthier St. Kitts and Nevis.
As a hypertensive patient, in my home, I reduce salt intake by not adding salt during the preparation of my food, not having a salt shaker on my table, limiting the consumption of salty snacks, and choosing products with low sodium content. That's why I am salt smart.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the doorway or any exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Yo, what up? It's your boy N Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moment Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
It's independence season here in St. Kitts and Nevis. This time is historically paramount here in the Federation. It is the time when we celebrate our nation's self-governance as well as our national heroes who contributed significantly to our development. One such being the Right Honorable Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, who is considered one of the Caribbean's greatest political leaders. His life's work is deeply woven into the fabric of our country's development. And fortunately, Glenroy Blanchett documented it in his book, The Truth About Robert L. Bradshaw, father of St. Kitts Nevis Independence. It gives us great pleasure to welcome Mr. Blanchett to the set of Good Morning SKN to discuss this and more. Welcome, Mr. Blanchett.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Certainly welcome. It is indeed our pleasure.
All right, so the title of the book, one of the things that jumps out, not only is the focus Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, but the way that you crafted it, the title, The Truth About Robert L. Bradshaw. It leads me to question whether you believed in writing this book that there were certain misconceptions that people had or certain things that they did not understand about RLB. Is that true?
Yes, certainly. Initially, my intention was to write about his greatness. But during the research process, I came to the realization that there was still a lot of misconceptions about Robert Bradshaw, our first national hero, his life, his contribution to our development. And so during that period, doing the research, a suggestion was made that, hey, focus on the lies and the propaganda and the half-truths and challenge, those aspects. And so that is why the name came about.
All right, if I may ask a follow-up question, because this is a very interesting line of conversation. And again, we're talking about the truth. What was one of those things that you noticed to be a misconception that you definitely wanted to tackle right off the bat in that book?
Well, first and foremost, and it's still alive today, you hear people uttering the phrase, bones in rice and pepper and soup. That it was alleged that Bradshaw made those statements towards Nigerians and Angolians, that he would give them bones in their rice and pepper in their soup. And there is no evidence whatsoever that he made such statements. No one can tell you when and where he uttered those words.
So you've done the research, you found it a misconception that you've addressed.
Yes.
Understood.
Wow. Such a great book. How easy or how hard was it for you to put this book together?
Honestly, it wasn't difficult at all.
Okay.
Because the research process became a labor of love. And the more I found out, the more I wanted to, discover more about the greatness of this man. And so it was a sort of enlightenment for me, and also in some respect a sort of an atonement, given my history, growing up in a community that supported the People's Action Movement, my family, my neighborhood, supported the People's Action Movement to the hilt. And so at an early age, I was indoctrinated, and believed, that Bradshaw was a wicked man, so to speak. So it was a labor of love.
Well, this is interesting that you made that point, because you've been a political figure,
Yes.
As you rightly said, supporting the People's Action Movement. So for you to craft a book focusing on Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw is quite interesting, to say the least. What were some of the challenges that you faced in doing that, and what were some of the truths that you think you had to confront in doing
that? Quite many. Another example was the 1967 attempted coup d'etat. For a long while, I believed that never happened. It is only when I became a card-carrying member and political candidate for the People's Action Movement, then I began to discover a lot of the truth behind that episode in our history. And so my perception, of Palm and Bradshaw and so on, came to a head, came face to face with the reality of what I was experiencing, as a member of the People's Action Movement. And so I had to confront those perceptions. And the research process was so enlightening as I discovered a lot of the issues surrounding the 1967 coup d'etat. Even the Angolians made certain admissions in a few of the books that they wrote.
There's a lot of history, a lot of revelation that a lot of us perhaps...
Right. And to add to that also, Dr. Whitman Brown, a Navitian scholar, author, he wrote one of the first books about Robert Bradshaw, From Commoner to King. And he too came to the same conclusion, that Bradshaw was misunderstood. He wasn't the evil person that people made him out to be. And, he at first was a critic, but eventually came around to loving Robert Bradshaw. So I am not alone.
Okay.
See, when you begin to discover the truth, then you get a different perspective of things.
I suppose you're motivated to share that as well.
Certainly.
So now that you bring this to fore, do you think it is of utmost important that our history, Kittitian history, not just European history, be taught in schools so that this generation and the others will be thoroughly informed when they are making, let's say, a voting decision or any other decision pertaining to our stalwarts?
Excellent question, because it is Marcus Garvey who said that the people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. And so our history provides that foundation for us to build upon moving into the future. And if we don't understand where we came from, we will be always spinning top in the mud. And so this book, like many others, trying to fill that gap where in the past our history was written by Europeans. And so what I found to here locally is that many of the Labour Party stalwarts and so on never took the time to record the achievements of Bratcher and Labour. And so it is important that we record. It doesn't have to be the Labour Party, any party, yes. The People's Action Movement, CCM, NRP, any party, that there must be some written record of the achievements and so on, so that we can pass that information on to future generations.
Very important indeed. We'll continue this discussion in a moment. Stay tuned, everyone.
Do you know that common baked goods such as bread and crackers are high in salt? Get salt smart.
You see that new boy that just joined the school last week? He brought me a chocolate this morning because I showed him the way home from school yesterday.
You like him?
No, he's just my friend. Plus, he is my neighbor. He asked me if we can walk home together for lunch tomorrow, and I told him yes.
I don't like these big boys. They tend to like to touch girls without your consent.
What do you mean by consent?
It's when one person agrees to give permission to another person to do something.
He is cute though.
Guys, you won't believe what happened the other day with the new boy from school.
What happened?
The other day, while walking home with the new guy, he followed me into my house. I thought it was okay because he seemed friendly and respectful. So I turned on the TV and offered him a soda. We sat in the chair together. Then he leaned over and kissed me. I was so shocked I sat up straight and asked him why he did that. He said he thought I liked him. I told him not in that way.
What? Girl, you should have never allowed him inside your parents' home.
My parents will be very angry if they meet any boys in our home plus kissing me.
Guys, we don't need to be burdened down with teen pregnancy and relationship problems at this time. Boys need to understand that girls are not sex objects.
Remember, you have the right to consent to every activity being performed, from holding hands to anything more, and to change your mind at any time. If your partner does not respect your wishes, this also is a form of abuse. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
back to Good Morning SKN. We are speaking with Glenroy Blanchard, the author of The Truth About Robert L. Bradshaw. Now let's listen to him as he reads a bit of his book for us. Take it away, Mr. Blanchard.
Thank you. This section deals with an experience that Robert Bradshaw had in the 1940s. He was traveling around the country doing some work for the Union. And when he arrived at Newton Ground, he saw a taxi. Well, he took a taxi to Newton Ground. And he saw a lady trying to catch a taxi to take her two children to the school in Sandy Point. And he gave her a penny and told the daughter to buy a penny bread, break it in half, and share it with her brother. And that incident moved him, and so he penned a piece in the Union Messenger. And it goes like this. To the interested observer, interested in the welfare and uplift of these poor people, who is not unacquainted with the living conditions forced upon the laboring classes of his island, conditions which are in themselves, to say the least, horrible, degraded, and disintegrative as compared with modern standards. This spectacle of little children being compelled to live for the better part of the day on a meal of 1 3/4 of an ounce of bread would occasion no surprise, but the contrary should, with pity, pierce him to the innermost fibers of his heart and depress him with disgust and indignation for the system which, by its very modus operandi, stultifies the minds and undernourishes the bodies of the great majority of our children, even before birth, condemns them to premature death, as our alarming shows, makes them hardly able to learn, and thereby unfit for hardly any other occupations than the most menial in the community.
That is a loaded statement.
Yes, and that incident, in my opinion, propelled him to be a part of the struggle to ameliorate the conditions of the poor masses of the country.
That was what he's known for, indeed.
Yes, and do you think Mr. Bradshaw was instrumental behind the school meal programs?
Not necessarily. School meal programs came much after, much later on. But he certainly influenced a lot of the modern development, that our country experienced.
Absolutely right. And when we talk to the conditions that he spoke to, I couldn't help but be moved when you read that. It was just a snippet. And earlier I asked you if you had a favorite chapter, and you said something that I suppose any author would, which was you don't have a favorite chapter. There are certain things that stand out to you. Is there any other part that stands out to you?
There are many accounts of his response to a lot of situations. For example, when he was ill and he was hospitalized in England, the story is told that the Queen visited him and wanted to confer on him a knighthood, and Bradshaw refused. He said all he wanted in life was independence for his people. So things like that, suggest to us, hey, this man was truly ahead of his time.
Indeed, especially at that period. You're absolutely right, because that is when we wanted self-determination, and he was a champion for that, and that's really important.
There's another part where, I don't know if you saw the movie Malcolm X.
A very long time ago.
Right, and there was a point in that movie where the police arrested a few of the Black Panthers, I think, are Muslims, and the crowd assembled outside the police station, and Malcolm X gave a signal with his hand, for them to disperse and so on. And there was an incident involving Bradshaw as he was leading the struggle against the planters, where there was a 10-week strike, and they put down their cutlasses and so on and did not show up for work for 10 long weeks. And Bradshaw eventually when they were assembled, he said, like, he made the announcement, comrades, out your flambeaux, meaning the torches. And like a mighty wind came from nowhere, and all the torches were put out. That is the kind of command and respect that he had amongst the masses. Yeah.
So tell us about the feedback from your readers. What are they saying about the book?
Excellent, excellent. I was a bit taken aback by the response. I knew there would have been some good response to it. A few people suggested that this body of work is worthy of a PhD award. You know, that is as far as it goes. But my real concern, though, is getting out the word so that people can understand who our first national hero was.
And that's very important indeed. As a matter of fact, I can see why they would say that about it, was just the way that you're expressing the contents.
Yeah.
And the knowledge that you've acquired in doing your research speaks to a certain level of information that is important to get out there indeed. So I can appreciate that. For those who are watching us right now, where can they purchase the book?
It's on Amazon. It's also available locally. I have copies selling. And so on Amazon, it's what, $19.99. And locally, you can get it for $50 easy. So anyone can contact me. My number is 662-6268.
I feel like the influence of this body of work will live on for a very long time, and I appreciate you bringing it to the masses, but more specifically the younger generation, people who might not know who RLB is. Thank you so much.
Thank you, too, for having me. I think it's the best way to start Good Morning SKN. SKN.
I agree. As you see, I tried to do it earlier.
Yes, you did indeed.
Yes. All right, we have been talking with Glenroy Blanchett. More Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
Hey, my friend, what going on?
Not a thing. I just here cooling under this tree, about to eat a mango or two.
Where you get mango from all now?
Boy, Auntie Rose bring me some mango this morning.
Oh, gosh. What you hit me for?
You give me something to put on?
Girl, you can't just come tempting me with these juicy round pally mangoes and expect me not to want some.
Just because something looks appealing and you want it, doesn't mean you are entitled to it and that you should touch or take it. Your mother ain't teach you manners. Ask for consent first before you touch up the mango them.
But why ask? And if it's dear, it's dear. Just take it. Why ask?
Simple. If it is mine and you ain't asked for it, it is called, wait for it, stealing.
That's true. My bad. Okay. May I please have some mangoes?
I don't know. After that spectacle, I ain't sure I want to give you any.
You see that? But I ask.
Just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give. It is still my mangoes.
So what you tell me ask for then?
Because consent is everything. Had you asked first, I would have been more inclined to give you one. And just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give you. You got it?
Okay, I got it. Now, may I please have some mangoes?
Only because you're my friend and I like you. But that still don't mean you're entitled to it.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Good. Don't leave your mango skin on the ground, eh?
If you understand the importance of asking for someone's consent for a mango, then it shouldn't be too hard to understand consent when it comes to sex. The power of consent is everything. Ask first. If you or a friend has been sexually assaulted, please call 465-5000 for the Counseling Center.
This message was brought to you by No Judgment SKN and sponsored by the Basic Needs Trust Fund, the Department of Gender Affairs, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Consuming
foods like bananas, potatoes, and dried peas and beans such as lentils and kidney beans contains potassium, which helps to reduce salt in the body.
Children, how can you tell a tsunami coming?
Teacher me.
Sammy?
My mother said when uncle jump in the pool and the water spoosh out, that's how you tell a tsunami coming.
Settle down, children, settle down. Do you remember our tsunami song?
Yes!
Mommy, Uncle not here and the other shake.
Hush your mouth.
Daddy, Uncle not here and the sea gone.
Who cares? You don't see all them free fish? Quick, give me the bag.
This is how you tell a tsunami a come. Teacher says so. I would have failed in school, you know.
Sammy, come, let me go. They would have failed anyhow. Let me run, see Sammy.
Segment where we shared some stories about persons with superhuman abilities. Today is Acknowledge a Superhuman Day, so we decided to bring back this segment for part 2. So, oh my gosh, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Wow. So Superhuman Day. So what is superhuman? When we hear superhuman, what do we think of?
Superman, obviously.
Superman.
That's the default.
You know, somebody made a reference to Superman the other day and said they're happy now that he's wearing his underwear on the inside, which I found.
They're happy now. Well, I commented, why was it being worn on the outside? But hey, that was just me. I know I did that before.
I think his super suit was a bit thin, so you know he was covering up parts that
Then again,
he didn't need to show.
Oh, was that what you're going with? Okay, I'll leave it there. I say no more.
So we're going to look at some clips.
Yeah, we will.
Thick stomach lining. I can't wait to see this.
Michael Lotito. If someone told you they ate an airplane, you'd probably give them a phone number to get some help. That's impossible. There isn't even a good airplane sauce, and no one can eat an aircraft unless it's of the gummy variety. But once you see what Michael Lotito was capable of, you may start to realize that maybe it is possible. Michael was a French entertainer who was born with an extra thick stomach lining. He also had a psychological disorder called pica, which makes you eat things that aren't necessarily nutritious or even edible.
He's actually eating metal pieces of carp.
He started eating weird things at about 16 years old, and doctors soon realized that his thick stomach lining and intestines meant that hard and sharp objects wouldn't cause injury. He also had powerful digestive juices that were capable of digesting such materials too. So powerful, in fact, that if he ate something soft like eggs or bananas, he got sick. Michael became a performer and started eating metal, glass, rubber, and much more. He even cut up and ate things like TVs, shopping carts, and bicycles. But the biggest thing he ever ate was a Cessna 150. It took him 2 years to eat it, and he suffered no ill effects. However, he died of natural causes at age 57 in 2007. Number 13.
Wow. I couldn't hide the expressions on my face because I'm wondering, what? Natural causes? You sure it wasn't lead poisoning?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
About
light bulbs?
That's superhuman ability, or is that just, I don't know what you call that. Superhuman is not what I call that. I'm sorry. That's just weird, and it's strange to me, and I can't help but wonder why anybody. I mean, after he became an adult, I guess he had, the right to choose what he wanted to do. But seriously, why would anybody eat a plane?
But his disorder too, and maybe that made him see it as soft food.
But one of the things that stood out to me here is the fact that he can actually digest such material. I know. And I'm wondering, and for the biological lesson here, has anybody studied his feces? Putting that out there.
Really?
I'm serious. Was it rich in something? I don't know. Aluminium? I have no idea what's going on.
Maybe he had a radioactive plant in his stomach, so he just was breaking down everything.
Yeah, that's not superhuman.
Because I was wondering about his teeth as well. If he was wearing dentures, you know, after eating all
No,
that.
didn't you see the one clip where he had a chipped tooth? Come on. After all that, they didn't say that his teeth were extra strong. They said that he could eat anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. At least he didn't eat humans like other people.
Ooh.
Let's move on.
Indeed.
Also, we're going to look at supervision.
Veronica Cedar. If Veronica Cedar's unique ability can't be classed as superhuman, then nothing can be. Just looking at Veronica, you wouldn't know that she has eyesight that can redefine the human eye's capability. While most of us can see about 20 feet away clearly at best, Veronica can view intricate details up to around a mile away, if not further. It wasn't until she was a student at Stuttgart University in West Germany that her unique talent was shown. The university claimed that she could distinguish people 1 mile ahead of her and measure their distance from her position. So while our vision is at best 20/20, Veronica's is 22. Basically, that means she could write a 10-page letter on a postage stamp and read it. She even proved her skill by writing a 20-verse poem on a piece of paper the size of her nail, then reading it in front of her professors without a magnifying glass. But her unique superhuman abilities didn't end there. Most people see a color made up of 3 primary colors: red, blue, and green. Veronica can see them by each component. Despite her talent, she leads an ordinary life and is a dentist in West Germany. Number 10. Shakuntala Devi.
What a way to detect cavities, do you think?
And I thought of that because I think that she can see them without even using her magnifying glass.
Yeah, exactly.
What? She wrote it on a paper as big as a nail and was able to read that?
I just want to know if she can spot a liar coming a mile away. Does it work like that?
Maybe she can measure the distance that they are from her, but she can't spot them.
That's freaky. She must be a really good driver, though. No accidents heading her way.
No accidents, because she can see the car coming from miles away and calculate the distance as quickly as possible and pull over to the side.
Imagine flying with her if she were in the cockpit. Ooh, collision. Ooh. If she were on the Titanic, iceberg.
I know. Exactly, she could have saved them.
Well, we don't know if it works at night, but we assume. We're assuming.
Superhuman vision.
Yeah, that's freaky.
Very. And to see that she ended up just being a dentist.
Yeah, you know what would help? I feel like giving a Trump joke here. What would help is if she had small hands, she might actually hold 20 pages on the post-it.
Oh, my.
You remember Trump's reference? I'll leave it there. That's all I'll say.
No. Oh, wow. That is so weird, but then it's good at the same time. Because I wish I didn't. That means she doesn't need glasses anytime in her life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because she's 22.
Absolutely. 22.
Wow. Superhuman.
I'll keep my 20/20. It's okay.
In my head, I just thought we're building the Justice League. That was just Hulk before, and now this is Wonder Woman.
Oh, really?
Or Supergirl. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Why is he reading so up close?
PCAD, but it wasn't without its pitfalls. Born Lawrence Kim Peek in 1951, Kim was known as a mega savant. He had a brilliant memory, but social difficulties as well from congenital brain abnormalities. Even though he was diagnosed with autism, it is now believed that Kim had FG syndrome. He couldn't button his shirt and had difficulties with other motor skills. But he more than made up for it in how he could remember the contents of around 12,000 books. He started remembering things from about 16 months old and would read books in as little as an hour. From these books, he learned a great deal about history, sports, geography, numbers, literature, and more. He would scan the left pages with his left eye, then the right pages with his right eye.
He reads the left page of the left eye, right page of the right eye, and remembers about 98% of it.
Kim inspired the movie Rain Man, and he appeared in several documentaries throughout his life. Unfortunately, Kim died of a heart attack at age 58 in 2009. Number 3.
Super memory?
super memory and the fact that he can use both eyes, because we use both eyes to concentrate on one page. He's using one over here and one over here. So that's genius.
And he was able to remember 98% of it.
You hear. By the
By
time I'm
scanning.
done reading a book, I could hardly remember what the first page said, and he remembered over what, 12,000 they said? That's a lot.
Yeah, 12,000 books. He
That
knows
is
the
a
content of all
lot,
that stuff.
yeah.
Now, this would be interesting if we can test our viewers to know if they remembered anything that we said so far. Hey, what do you guys say? Do you remember anything we said so far for the morning?
I was teaching my nephew to read the other day, and once his sister read what my nephew did, he listened to his sister, memorized. So when now I'm pointing at the words, I realize my nephew's way ahead of me. So I'd be like, that's not how you learn, AJ. You have to read. And he's looking at me and smiling. So he's memorizing way ahead. So he knows what to say.
Yeah, and I agree.
So I look at him and I'd be like, he's smart, but that's not how you do it in school, because teachers not going to work like that.
Are you kidding? I aced tests by memorizing. I literally would memorize
Yeah,
a
he doesn't
chapter of the book. And so fill in the blank test was easy. It's like, wait, what's this word? That. No, that. But yeah, I had an aunt who told me the same thing that you did. It's like, that's not how you learn.
Because that's not how you learn.
And then I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to memorize. I'm gonna try to get it. And I thought, yeah, Marin, it didn't work out. I'm going to go back to memorizing.
Yes.
All right. Yes. But hey, that's what it is. So really, superhuman abilities. If you've got any superhuman abilities that you want to tell us about.
Exactly. Let us know.
I don't know, perhaps what can I say? You eat with your fingernails and not with your hands?
That's not superhuman ability. That one I don't consider to be a superhuman.
I don't know, you can make it on the Geico commercial as the Neanderthal. Hey, if you got hairy body part, let's go with it. I'm kidding around, guys.
Oh my gosh. So with that said, stay tuned. Much more on Good Morning SKN.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Salt is an important part of the human diet, but most of us consume more than we realize.
You see that new boy that just joined the school last week? He brought me a chocolate this morning because I showed him the way home from school yesterday.
You like him?
No, he's just my friend. Plus, he is my neighbor. He asked me if we can walk home together for lunch tomorrow, and I told him yes.
I don't like these big boys. They tend to like to touch girls without your consent.
What do you mean by consent?
It's when one person agrees to give permission to another person to do something.
He is cute though.
Guys, you won't believe what happened the other day with the new boy from school.
What happened?
The other day, while walking home with the new guy, he followed me into my house. I thought it was okay because he seemed friendly and respectful. So I turned on the TV and offered him a soda. We sat in the chair together. Then he leaned over and kissed me. I was so shocked I sat up straight and asked him why he did that. He said he thought I liked him. I told him not in that way.
What? Girl, you should have never allowed him inside your parents' home.
My parents will be very angry if they meet any boys in our home plus kissing me.
Guys, we don't need to be burdened down with teen pregnancy and relationship problems at this time. Boys need to understand that girls are not sex objects.
Remember, you have the right to consent to every activity being performed, from holding hands to anything more, and to change your mind at any time. If your partner does not respect your wishes, this also is a form of abuse. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Today we discuss with someone, I dare say, who has impacted our patriotism in a very big way, whose name is indelibly etched in the history books of St. Kitts and Nevis. Yet her humility is such that you would not realize her importance unless someone drew it to your attention. GMSKN Nation, that is the role of Cortensia and me today. That's what we're going to do. So we gave you a hint earlier this week, and today it is our honor to introduce you to the designer of our national flag. At the time, she was Idris Lewis. Now she is Idris Lewis Vivek. We invite her to first of all take us back to 1983 when we gained independence. Good morning, Ms. Vivek. Thank you so much for joining us on Good Morning SKN.
Welcome.
Good morning and thank you.
It's our pleasure.
In 1983, your flag design was chosen from among others. First of all, we want to know what made you enter the flag design competition, and were you at any time intimidated by thoughts of the competition?
I entered the competition as a result of seeing an email that was sent through the finance office at the College of the Virgin Islands, where I worked on as a student. I received the email and I gave it to my boss, but I said, I think I can take part in this competition. After all, I'm a Kittitian, and it says all Kittitians and divisions, regardless to where you are. So I decided to do some research and enter the competition. I was never intimidated because I knew there would be a lot of entries, and I knew that one person had to win the competition. And whether it was me or anyone else, I was sure that the people who were choosing the designs would choose the design that was best suited for our situation.
You mentioned research. Did the research that you do enable you to come up with the design, and how long did it take for you to come up with this design?
Yes, the research was a big instrumental part in the design because I knew my history. I know exactly where we came from, and I know that I had to look at different aspects of African culture in order to come up with what I did. So being at the College of the Virgin Islands, I spent a lot of time in the library researching different African cultures. For example, me, I know that my great-grandmother is from Guinea in Africa. I know that a lot of us have Nigerian roots, so there is a lot of African in us. So I knew that I had to incorporate a lot of the colors that came out of Africa.
All right, and speaking to your incorporation of the colors, obviously we know what the end result of the flag is. Were there moments when you struggled with linking it back to Kittitian roots per se, or was that connection easy for you to make?
That was pretty easy because I think everybody know what the colors stand for. Our first name, our native name was Layamiga, Fertile Island, green, which is also a color from Africa in many of the African flags. We know that every year we wake up, the sun is shining. If it's not, give it 5 minutes, it will be there. The yellow, year-round sunshine. The red. We have gone through a lot. From the time our ancestors arrived on the shores of St. Kitts and Nevis, we have fought, we have struggled. So the red represents the blood, sweat, and tears of our people from slavery to colonialism to independence. And the black represents our African heritage. The two white stars stand for hope and liberty for our federation. So no, it was not difficult to incorporate our culture into the colors.
Lovely. And I like the significance of each color. So did you have to sew the flag, or did you just submit a drawing?
It was a drawing.
Okay, lovely.
It would have been interesting if you had to sew. Are you a good sewer? Can you sew? That's the question.
Yes, I can sew. In fact, I used to make my own clothes, and I still do sometimes, even though I found that it's cheaper to go into a store and buy a dress than to make one these days.
Oh, that's interesting, but you're correct. These days, indeed.
So I have a follow-up question for you, Idris. Did anyone assist you with
in the designing of the flag?
Yes.
No one assisted me in designing the flag. In fact, I was sitting at my desk one day, and a friend of mine, I'm going to use her name, she's still my friend. She's from Nevis, and her name is Andrea Busu, and she came up to me and she saw the design, and she said, "Oh, you're designing your Rasta flag." And we laughed about it. But after the flag was designed, I have a friend in St. Thomas that I asked to do a painting for me because he's an artist, and I felt like, okay, if he does this, it's going to look really cool. So I gave him my design, and he painted it for me, and that was what I submitted, the painting, not the raw drawing.
Well, that leads to my next question, because oftentimes when we speak to winners of competitions, it's one of the assumptions that I make, and I will confess this on the fly, I make it. It's about thinking that their first draft is the finished product, but I'm pretty sure that that's not the case in a lot of instances. Did you have to refine your drawing in any way, and if so, what was that process like?
No, there was no refining. It was just painting it exactly as it was.
Wow, so first time you sketched it, and this is what we're seeing, and it was...
Yes.
This is incredible, Ms. Vivek. You have incredible skill. I know. Thank you.
Oh, wow. So you just told us the meaning of every color. To follow up, were you the one that submitted the meaning when you submitted the flag as well?
Yes, I did.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
So how much, I have to ask you what your thoughts are. I know that you might not know what the criteria is, but how much of your winning do you think is attributable to the meaning of the colors as opposed to just the design?
I don't know, but I would think that a good percentage of it would be.
Yes.
Because the colors,
yes, please go ahead.
The colors talk about our culture and what we stand for. So I think that had a big part to do in it. I don't know if the people who were judging looked at that or they just looked at the design. I don't know, because I wasn't a part of that.
Okay, well, both went hand in hand perfectly, I must say.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll be back in a moment to continue this discussion, Ms. Vivek. Stay tuned, everyone. More GMSKN in a moment.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cooked today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't called me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me go!
Let go what? Yeah, let's see what really happened. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
The weekend mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Consuming foods like bananas, potatoes, and dried peas and beans, such as lentils and kidney beans, contains potassium, which helps to reduce salt in the body.
SKN, we continue our discussion with Mistress Idris Lewis Vivek, the designer of our national flag. So, Ms. Vivek, during the break, we were discussing your connections still with St. Kitts. So, I need to know, was it a hard decision to leave St. Kitts? And we know that although you're living abroad, you are part of many charitable foundations, and you give back to St. Kitts. So, can you speak to that for us?
I actually left St. Kitts to go to the College of the Virgin Islands to study. And that was the reason why I left.
Okay.
I did not return. Actually, for personal reasons, I did not return. But I do come back home, and I have maintained my connectivity with my homeland.
All right, so you were talking to us a little bit about your ability to donate school supplies, not only your recent visits home, by the way, because you came for 2 weddings, you told us, so great reason to come back to St. Kitts and Nevis, but you have family here and you visit every year.
Yes, I do.
And you also donate. So can you give our viewers a sense of what that charity entails?
For the schools, I give backpacks filled with school supplies, books, pencils, erasers, pens, scissors, everything they need for school. And when I give uniforms, I would give each student 2 uniforms. I give them shoes, I give them socks. For the carding home, when I do the carding home, I give, the last time I did it, I gave sheets, things like Pampers for the people who needed them. I gave shoes, flip-flops, soap, deodorant, towels, rags, t-shirts, nightgowns, house dresses. I gave each person in the home a bag with stuff that I thought they would need, and the stuff that was left over, I left them at the home so that they can give them to the people as they need them. At the children's home, I give the same sort of stuff, not the sheets, but I give like deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrushes, rags, towels, stuff like that. And I also gave them games at the children's home. A couple of years ago, I read in the newspaper that somebody had broken into the children's home and had stolen the kids' bikes and things like that. And I called and I asked, how can I help? And they said to me, we really need a security system. And I said, okay, I will get you a security system. And I did. And I went down and I gave it to them. I don't know if it has been put into use as yet, because I know they were waiting for fencing. The people that I give at home, I give them, I was told by the ministry things that I can and can't give to these people. So for example, if they told me somebody was diabetic, I know I had to give them something that they can use. So I gave them Glucerna, which is a drink for diabetics. If they were not, I gave them Ensure. They got sheets, they got towels, rags, toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorant, powder, and things like that.
You're
So
really
that's what I
connected,
did.
because it's so magnanimous of you to do that, and I'm really grateful that you are able to do that for people here. Talk about maintaining your connection. You definitely have done that, so thank you so much.
Mistress Vedrick, what got you into charity? We know Monday was International Charity Day, but what got you into giving back?
I felt like I received a lot from my country, and I knew that there were people who also needed help. I'm going to tell you something about me. When I was 15 years old, my father died, and I was raised by a single mother, and I know it was not easy for her. Yet I never one day went without anything I needed. So I just wanted to give back and to help people that I know needed the help. And that's why I decided to do this.
Well, that's a great reason. I'm sorry for your loss of your father at such an early age, but I'm grateful that it inspired you to give to other people in the way that you have. So we want to pick your brain a little bit, and well, in doing so, we'll ask you this question, although I can predict, I think, how you will answer it. But the question is patriotism an outdated concept?
No, it is not, and I do not think it will ever be outdated. And the reason why I say that is because if we say we love our country, then we are patriotic, because patriotism demonstrates the love that we have for our country. It is the bond that ties us together and that helps us to stand on common ground. It is what enables us to give back to people in our community, people who need it, to help, to lend a shoulder. Wherever anything is needed, patriotism is what allows us to do that. If we are not patriotic, then we won't care about the country, and we won't care about anybody at all in the country. So I encourage everybody out there who's listening to think about this. If you love your country, you are a patriot of your country. And think about seriously what it means and how you can show your patriotism.
So Mr. Glenroy Blanchett was here earlier this morning, and he told us when Mr. Bradshaw was being hospitalized in England, the Queen asked him she went to give him knighthood, but he asked for the independence of his country. We know what independence meant to him. So what does independence mean to you?
To me, independence means the ability to choose for ourselves instead of having any colonial power choose for us. We are now able to choose for ourselves. But with that choice, we have to know comes responsibility. So we have to choose responsibly. Anything we want, we choose it, we can get it. I know that we're a small country, but when we look around, we see great things. I'm always pleasantly surprised when I come home and I see the great strides that are made in the country, even year to year. It makes me very happy. I look at social media, I see the students who are going on to do great things. We have so many doctors, lawyers, just name it. We are architects and divisions, and we're doing it out there. We're competing with the biggest countries in the world. That makes me proud, and that is because of our independence. So kudos to Mr. Bradshaw for asking for that for us.
Absolutely correct. And I love your answer, Ms. Vivek. And we're celebrating our 39th year of independence in a matter of a few weeks. When I see that flag, when we raise it, I will be even more proud for having had this conversation with you and getting the insight that went into your designing our national flag. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Good Morning SKN. It has been our absolute pleasure.
You're very welcome, and thank you very much. And to all the people out there, happy Independence Day.
And to you as well when it comes.
Thank you.
More Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
I eat some veggies for dinner. Let me just check the amount of sodium in this can. Oh no, this is too much. Let me try our next option. They did say it's healthy to consume less salt. This is much better. I am salt smart.
Yo, what up? It's your boy N Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moen Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Hey, my friend, what going on?
Not a thing. I just here cooling under this tree, about to eat a mango or two.
Where you get mango from all now?
Boy, Auntie Rose bring me some mango this morning.
Oh, gosh. What you hit me for?
You give me something to put on?
Girl, you can't just come tempting me with these juicy round pally mangoes and expect me not to want some.
Just because something looks appealing and you want it doesn't mean you are entitled to it and that you should touch or take it. Your mother ain't teach you manners. Ask for consent first before you touch up a mango them.
But why ask? And if it's dear, it's dear. Just take it. Why ask?
Simple. If it is mine and you ain't asked for it, it is called, wait for it, stealing.
That's true. My bad. Okay. May I please have some mangoes?
I don't know. After that spectacle, I ain't sure I want to give you any.
You see that? But I ask.
Just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give. It is still my mangoes.
So what you tell me ask for then?
Because consent is everything. Had you asked first, I would have been more inclined to give you one. And just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give you. You got it?
Okay, I got it. Now, may I please have some mangoes?
Only because you're my friend and I like you. But that still don't mean you're entitled to it.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Good. Don't leave your mango skin on the ground, eh?
If you understand the importance of asking for someone's consent for a mango, then it shouldn't be too hard to understand consent when it comes to sex. The power of consent is everything. Ask first. If you or a friend has been sexually assaulted, please call 465-5000 for the Counseling Center.
This message was brought to you by No Judgment SKN and sponsored by the Basic Needs Trust Fund, the Department of Gender Affairs, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Did you know that there are certain seasonings that contain more salt than you actually need? There are more natural, healthier ways to reduce the salt intake in your dishes by using natural things like onions, garlic, seasoned peppers, and even thyme and merengue powder.
A lot is happening for independence.
Okay. Well, we would assume that the regular activities like the parade would take place, but we need the details. We have also seen in the media that there are some new activities So it's better that we get this directly from the person who can give us accurate information. Additionally, at this time of the year, we also commemorate Caribbean Wellness Week. So it is also appropriate that we get the deets, yes, the deets, on these activities as well. So GMSKN Nation, we give you the chairperson of the Independence Committee, Ms. Sharon Rattan, as well as Dr. Marissa Carty, the Health Promotion Unit Coordinator and the Non-Communicable Disease Program Coordinator. They will both fill us in on what we can expect over the next several weeks. Ladies, good morning and welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
It's indeed our pleasure. Oh man, all celebrities. You ladies have been here a few times before, right?
True.
So, Ms. Rattan, I'm going to start off with you. Javon Libert was here on Good Morning SKN, and he told us about 2 new activities. For those who were not watching at the time, can you let us know what those activities are?
Yes, we believe that we should focus on, the young, nurture the talent. There are lots of people out there ready to present what's inside of them, and we thought that we would engage our citizens with a Here SKN. Okay, so there is a competition on. There is an email that you can go to and upload your hairstyles using the national colors, and you will be adjudged. So we're looking for your creativity, and the prize is EC $1,500. The winner takes all.
That's motivation enough.
There are no runners-up.
That's
no
motivation.
runners-up.
Yes.
You just got to be the
no
winner.
runners-up. So that is one. I think he spoke to that and gave the details on that. And we also have a dress-up one that we call Prideful. The Prideful competition. You can use any of the patriotic colors in collaboration with what aspect of the national dress. Whichever. It's the whole creative vibe is up to you. And that one too, the winner takes all, $1,500.
It's a terrible time to be a judge. I mean, a great time if you're enjoying it, but I imagine you're going to have lots of entries.
I anticipate that we would.
All right. Well, that's a good problem to have.
I have a follow-up question. Are you familiar with the lady Cutie? You know, around Independent, she always, I think she worked in the Pelican.
I met her when I did the 30th anniversary. And we did have some hairstyles. I think if you go back to a page we had before, you would see some of those hairstyles. She always does it.
Yeah.
The little short lady, Cutie.
So was she the inspiration behind the hairstyle competition this go?
Then and now, well, now we have many more we see many more of our younger women who have entered this business of hair braiding, not only just basic hair braiding, but they're very stylish with it too. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about a braided look for Independence.
I'm waiting to see what you do, because I'm pretty sure.
No, I won't be the competition.
Not
No
that you're going to
committee
be in the
members
competition.
qualify.
Not the competition, but I'm so curious to see what you're going to do, because I know that you have this ability to surprise us all. So I can't wait to see.
I'm thinking about that.
All right, so Dr. Carty, what can you tell us about the first activity that we can expect for Caribbean Wellness Week?
So Caribbean Wellness Week starts on September 10th with Caribbean Wellness Day. Now, we had to shift our SKN Moves Walk, postpone it because of the election activities. And we had postponed it to the Caribbean Wellness Day. And then PS Rattan got in touch with us and told us that the Independence Committee is also looking at having a wellness walk. And so the decision was to merge both events. So on September 10th, we'll be having our SKN Moves Independence Wellness Walk. This walk is slated to be somewhat of a challenge this year for those who want to take on that challenge. And so the route starts at the War Memorial at 5 a.m. we start with a warm-up at 5. And then we go along the Bay Road. When we reach up to Bird Rock, Ms. Rattan, I think we turn those who want to participate in the challenge, they will go right. And they're going over the hill into Frigate Bay. And then we end at the lawn. But those who just want to, do it for the exercise, the physical activity, they can turn left, go along the normal Frigate Bay Road route, and again, we'll end at the Frigate Bay lawn. So that's the first activity for the Caribbean Wellness Week.
It is a challenge. I know that you know that.
Well, we're looking to see who will take the challenge.
Okay.
Interesting.
That sounds like
interesting stats for you to see.
It's a great option. Love the option.
Indeed. So, Ms. Ratton, tell us about some of the other independence activities that we have grown to love and expect, such as the Independence Parade.
But before that, I want to do another tidbit on the walk. We have prizes, special prizes. Yes. SKN Moves, they have these shirts in all colors, so they would wear those that reflect the national flag. And other persons who don't have those shirts can come in their patriotic colors. But we have a prize for the most wacky socks and the most wacky sneakers and the first 15 finishers.
Okay, so the first 15, either route.
Yes, either route. First 15 finishers. And so we have many little prizes. Try and come out, show us what you're going to do with your socks or your sneakers.
I was looking down, I don't see any, but it's fine. I'm waiting.
The socks. So that's one little twist to it. And we were happy to collaborate with Health because we know that is also something for the independence we want persons to reflect on. It is a cause for pause other than the celebratory activities.
That's right. Great time to do it.
Yes. So, and that is one of the messages we want out there about our health. But in terms of the other activities, you know, there are some key signature activities that we have to have, the formal activities. So we're going to have, apart from that, going on next week is the National Colors Week. We start on Friday with green.
Yes.
Green. On Monday, yellow. On Tuesday, black. On Wednesday, white. And on Friday, red. No, Thursday, sorry. Because Friday is National Heroes Day.
Yes.
So that's our National Colors Week. This message is not only in the schools, it's for all of our citizens to get out your colors in whatever shades. You have the range of shades of colors, so you can also do that. And that will be accompanied by the cabinet visits to schools by ministers. We are going to do on Friday, East and West Zone. On Tuesday, we're going to do the Bastia Zone with primary schools. Friday and Tuesday, the primary schools will be visited. And on Wednesday, we would end with the secondary schools. But there's another activity for health on Thursday. Tell them about it.
So this week is our culminating week for the 7-week campaign, so Caribbean Wellness Week. And we usually have 2 other activities during that week. So on Tuesday, we have our National Fruit Day. This year, however, we are doing somewhat of a challenge. And I know some time ago, I saw both of you doing a smoothie section on your show. And for this year, for National Fruit Day, we are encouraging persons to create a smoothie or a fruit snack. And then they're going to post it to their social media page, and we're asking them to tag in your kitchen. And then we're going to there's a little criteria that we're going to use to judge them, and then we're going to be awarding a prize for, I think it's the first 3 persons that, you know, have the most creative food smoothie or food snack. So that's for National Fruit Day. And then on Thursday, because Friday is the holiday, on Thursday we have our National Sneaker Day. Now, Sneaker Day is not just for the Ministry of Health. It's for everyone. And so we actually encourage businesses to allow persons to wear their sneakers on that day. And wherever you have to go, walk. Use the sneakers on that day. Walk out. You have to go down the road to another office, walk. You know, so we're just encouraging persons to be more physically active on Thursday.
I love the collaboration, by the way. We'll talk about all that and more when we come back. Stay tuned, everyone.
You see that new boy that just joined the school last week? He brought me a chocolate this morning because I showed him the way home from school yesterday.
You like him?
No, he's just my friend. Plus, he is my neighbor. He asked me if we can walk home together for lunch tomorrow, and I told him yes.
I don't like these big boys. They tend to like to touch girls without your consent.
What do you mean by consent?
It's when one person agrees to give permission to another person to do something.
He is cute though.
Guys, you won't believe what happened the other day with the new boy from school.
What happened?
The other day, while walking home with the new guy, he followed me into my house. I thought it was okay because he seemed friendly and respectful. So I turned on the TV and offered him a soda. We sat in the chair together. Then he leaned over and he kissed me. I was so shocked, I sat up straight and asked him why he did that. He said he thought I liked him. I told him not in that way.
What? Girl, you should have never allowed him inside your parents' home.
My parents will be very angry if they meet any boys in our home plus kissing me.
Guys, we don't need to be burdened down with teen pregnancy and relationship problems at this time. Boys need to understand that girls are not sex objects.
Remember, you have the right to consent to every activity being performed, from holding hands to anything more, and to change your mind at any time. If your partner does not respect your wishes, this also is a form of abuse. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
We continue our discussion with Independence Committee Chair, Permanent Secretary Sharon Rattan, as well as Dr. Marissa Carty, the Health Promotion Unit Coordinator. So, Ms. Rattan, I want to know if there are any activities in partnership with private entities that will also appear on the Independence Program, and if not, would you welcome some future Independence celebrations, some partnerships like that?
Well, there has been a long-standing tradition that persons who would like their activities on the calendar, we have always accommodated that, and we did have some outreach this year. So we had the Essence group for the breast cancer. They are on for the 16th. They usually have something in the afternoon of the 16th. And then we have Boozy Brunch at Carambola. There's another brunch, Petit, I hope I remember it correctly, but it will be on the calendar when we get it. After this conversation, it will be released on social media, so you'll have all of the little details of the other activities on the calendar. We have a cultural fair on the 25th at Eco Park also, as a private entity who reached out to us. It will be a fashion show featuring local designers, etc. And Miss Phenomenal is on the 23rd of September. The young lady, Miss Karen St. Josh, she really reached out to us and wanted us to feature that. So in between, we have, but the 16th, let me go back to the 16th, that is National Heroes Day, and I want you to know that we're having two ceremonies on National Heroes Day. The one at the National Heroes Park at 8 a.m., where we honor the 5 families and we have our solemn moments remembering the lives and contributions of our 5 national heroes. And there will be one in the afternoon, a special one, at the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw Memorial Park in St. Paul's at 4 p.m. Okay. So there will be 2 this year. And for the 18th, I'm going over the key ones that we know, the formal key ones. The 18th is the Independence State Service at the Antioch Baptist Church at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And last year it was held in Nevis. This year it is held in St. Kitts. And on the 19th, there's been a lot of chatter out there because some people wanted a night parade. We were back and forth with the whole concept, the idea, how it will be executed in light of the fact that next year's the 40th. So we had some little back and forth. So I'm happy to tell everybody the parade will be on the 19th of September, Monday at 8 a.m.
Oh, this stays in the morning.
Yes, it's in the morning.
So we're going to leave all the frills and flowers
all
for next year.
All the frills for next year. Okay? But some people really wanted it. We had it once and people enjoyed it. But we'll leave it here for the 39th at 8 a.m. in the normal space at the park. And in the evening, we have the governor's cocktail. But there's also one thing the public is looking forward to, and that is the Independence Concert, a freedom concert. We have had that practice for a number of years. Some years we have it, some years we don't. This year we are bringing it back. And it is scheduled for the 30th of September. And it's coming soon. So stay tuned for details. Stay tuned for details because we're in our preliminary stages. I know people want to know which artists, what local artists will be there, but we are in the preliminary stages.
So they have to stay tuned.
They have to stay tuned. So even though the formal holiday and the observances have passed, you have to stay tuned to Independence. And it goes down to the 30th of October. We have the school's elocution contest. The finals, the 7th of October. The drill competition, we have on the 14th of October. And the night of dance on the 22nd of October. But we are not finished with October yet. The 30th, what we are planning to do as we go into the 40th is keep the structure of the committee. We are going to be launching out to the 40. Because the 40, we cannot plan in 4 weeks. We cannot plan you won't want us to plan it in 2 months. You want, you want a long lead up to the planning of the 40th. So we'll have a tidbit for you.
Well, that's a lot. And I have to say, I can't wait for the calendar to drop officially so that we see what's going on. Yes. Dr. Carty, we are almost out of time, but I just want to ask you really quickly, are you accepting, yes or no, volunteers for the Caribbean Wellness Week? Volunteers? Walk, any assistance needed?
Sure. Anyone who is willing to work with the health promotion unit, like I said, we've worked with a number of NGOs and they've actually helped us to get volunteers from even our academic institutions. So UMHS has also helped us on a number of occasions for some of our events and so forth. So we are accepting volunteers. Anyone who is willing to help us with any of our activities, just feel free to contact the Ministry of Health Promotion Unit, and we will see where we can help, where we can use you. Yeah.
All right, that's the final word, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank you for joining us today for another edition of Good Morning SKN. We will be here tomorrow. You know where to find us at Studio 327 on our social media handles and on Instagram at Good Morning SKN. Comments, yes, share, and as you like to say,
follow and subscribe and leave us a comment and let us know what was your favorite part of today's show. We had a packed one. And this is where we will say, see you tomorrow. That's Thursday at 8 a.m. when you will start your morning. Well, I compel you to start your morning with us right here at Good Morning SKN. Have a great Whiskermas Wednesday, guys. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Bye.